Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this real estate deal breakdown. This is actually the second time I'm recording this because the first recording on Loom got screwed up. So today I'm going to tell you about a wholesale deal that was a $24,000 profit in New Windsor, New York. It was actually a mobile home on land, and normally I don't touch those, and I wholesale them. So I'm going to tell you why I did that on this video and how it made sense for everybody. If you're not familiar with me, I've been a full-time real estate investor for 10 years. I've done 500 properties at this point, and I've learned a lot of lessons and done a good amount of deals. So I figured I'd break these things down. If you get value from this, do me a favor. If you're watching, subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the video. If you're listening, if you can share this podcast with somebody else who you think would benefit from it, that would be great. But anyway, let's get into the numbers and the breakdown on this one. So this was in New Windsor. The lady, she filled out an online form to sell her property. It was from a Google SEO lead, so we didn't pay for the traffic. It was free because we have a website that's been ranking for a long time. And they were getting multiple offers. So they reached out to me. They reached out to a few other buyers, and they were asking a really good price. They were asking, I think they were asking like 100 grand or something like that. And this is a mobile home that was built before 76 on its own lot in New Windsor, which is a really good location. So I knew right off the bat, I'm like, if they're willing to sell this thing at that price, like we're going to be able to do this deal. And the other competitor that we were competing with offered her 80 grand, and she didn't like that. So then she asked us what our offer was, and we told her 90 because it still was a deal. Because like I said, anything in the Hudson Valley for under 100 grand is like super cheap, even though this was an old mobile home. But anyway, she agreed at 90. She was happy as a clam. And we got it under contract. And because I'm not too familiar with mobile homes, I was like, I don't really want to flip this myself just because I don't know the ins and outs with how mobile homes work. But I knew that at that price, another investor would definitely want to buy it from me. So I emailed it out, had a bunch of people who were interested, ended up getting it assigned over to somebody for a $24,000 assignment fee. So what's that? $114,000. Now you're thinking that's really cheap for the Hudson Valley. And yeah, it is. But here's the thing. This was built before 1976, so it's harder to get financing on something like that. Now, you can get financing on that, but it's harder because it's an older product, and a lot of lenders don't really like loaning on that, so the buyer pool would be limited for if you're going to go sell it. You can get conventional. Obviously, someone could pay cash. You could do creative financing, but like I don't think an FHA buyer would be able to get that loan. So anyway, that's why the property value wasn't like, in the threes or something like that on the ARV. So anyway, everything was good. The buyer was happy with it. They knew what they were getting into. I assigned it because I'm not too familiar with mobile homes, especially ones built before 76. And what do they say? A quick nickel beats a slow dime. And I was happy making $24,000 flipping the paper to somebody. So that's why I wholesaled it. There was a little bit of a wrinkle on this property, though. I remember there was a few open permits with the town and violations that had to get resolved. So the seller and I teamed up and we helped tackle them together. So we ended up having the deal take another like extra month to close because we had to get the town to go in there and basically, approve some of the work that was like half done. And, they ended up closing out all the permits and it was easy and the buyer got a good deal. So buyer actually ended up buying it from me, and they didn't even flip it. They put it right on the rental market, and they got $1,900 a month for it, which is pretty good because if they paid $114, and even if they put 30 grand into it, which they probably didn't even have to put that much, they're in it for $144, and it's renting for $1,900 a month, which is better than the 1% rule. And to find the 1% rule in the Hudson Valley is almost impossible. So it was a very good rental property, good cash on cash return, good rental property for the investor. And the key with this property and the nugget I want you to take out of this is that if you know your market well, you can make these deals happen and beat out your competitors. Because I knew that no matter what, this land itself was worth more than what they were asking. And the fact that it had a trailer on there that was functional made it even more valuable, right? So I just know in New Windsor, anything on a quarter-acre lot is going to be worth more than 100 grand. So takeaway number one for you watching this is when you know your market well, you can beat out your competitors because if you have more knowledge than they do, you can potentially pay more or you could convey more certainty to the owner because of your knowledge of the market and the fact that you can make the numbers work. So that's number one. Number two here, don't be scared when there's other investors on deals. We beat competitors on deals all the time. Now, do we win every time? No, we lose deals to them sometimes as well. But most of the time in 2026, you're going to be competing against other buyers for off-market sellers. That's just the way that it is. It's not going to change. It's not going to go away. So you got to understand when there is competition on a deal, you need to put your best foot forward, and that should allow you to be even better at communicating with the seller and provide more value, spend more time with them, give them more certainty, give them more convenience. Try to come up with things that your competitors might not want to do. And that might be just paying more money, but that will work fine if you know the numbers. Like I knew this was a smoking deal at 90 grand and I had no problem paying that because I knew that that was a deal either way. I got to pay 10 more than the other investor. Like whatever, it's all good. I still made money on it. Right? So you got to know your market and don't be afraid of competition. And then the last nugget I will give you here on the lessons is that, most deals are always going to have drama on them. Like this wasn't a crazy dramatic deal, but there was some issues with the building department. It set us back. Like, when you have a deal that doesn't have drama, that's very rare. I mean, most of these off-market deals are off-market for a reason. Like literally today, on a separate situation, we had a seller try to scam us. We had a fake seller try to sell a property they didn't own, and we actually went into contract to buy it. So understand most deals are not smooth. There's always going to be one or two hiccups at least. And you just got to understand that's part of the business, and that's why you get paid to solve problems. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. Your income is directly in proportion to your ability to solve problems. So that is the nuts and bolts on this property. Once again, if you're in the Hudson Valley or Delaware or the Seattle area, you have a house you want to wholesale to me or wholesale with me or do a novation. We're really, really, really looking to do more JV deals, and we actually have a few of them going on right now. So if you got something you want me to look at, send me an email, greg@velocityhousebuyers.com, or shoot me a DM on Instagram @grego37. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the podcast, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.